It's time for the Preventive Strike review for the Nintendo Switch. This was one of those games I found deep within the great deals section on the Nintendo eShop. I can't remember for sure, but I believe I bought it for $1.09, and, well, let's just say I got what I paid for. This is an angled top-down arcade-style shooter. You pilot a military helicopter and take on waves of enemies, all the while trying to stay alive and reach the end of the level. I know I said in my last review of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker that I thought that would be one of my shortest reviews, but as you can tell by the length of this video, this one will be even shorter. There's a whopping 4 levels you can play, but unlocking each one is easier said than done. The game is simply brutal, and is probably up there in my top 5 most difficult games I've ever played. Now, just because a game is hard doesn't make it bad, but the way it was designed makes it unnecessarily difficult and borderline unfair. First of all, you have one life. That's it. If you die once, you go back to the beginning of the level. Fortunately, it's not a gauntlet where dying sends you back to level 1, and restarting the level is almost instant, and you have unlimited tries. But that's about all the leeway the game gives you. The onslaught of attacks against you is insane. It's impossible to dodge every projectile, and you will get hit. Now, I'm not expecting a perfect run where your health never drops, but the game design cripples the player in its basic gameplay, and one of 5 things needs to change in order for the player to feel like they actually have a chance at success. 1, the playing field needs to be larger, so the camera needs to zoom out some. Because there's so many bullets and missiles flying at you in this relatively small space, you can't help but get hit. 2, temporary special power-ups would be a huge welcome. You can acquire homing and airstrike missiles, as well as temporary shields you keep in your inventory for later use, but these are few and far between, and sometimes are completely out of your reach, and it's justifiable to say special weapons and or abilities to give you an advantage is desperately needed. 3, more health pickups throughout each level needs to be a thing. 4, either speed up the helicopter or reduce its size or hurt box by just a bit, or 5, remove 20% of all enemies in a level. Heck, I'd even settle for 10%. There's just too many. I'm not asking for all 5 changes, just give me one so I'm not going crazy. The graphics look pretty good, and flying the helicopter is easy, but that's the only thing easy about this game. The music definitely fits the theme, but it's generic and forgettable. Sometimes I'd get camera glitches during a huge explosion, and the sound design needs to be fixed when selecting restart, as it would immediately ramp up when selected. Even though there's only 4 levels, well, there might be 5 since there's this empty space within the level selector. I'm not sure you'd want to play anymore, as they get progressively more difficult and frustrating. It took me 10 tries to beat level 1, 18 for level 2, 26 for level 3, and unfortunately, after about an hour of trying, I just can't beat level 4. If you're dedicated, or crazy enough, no offense, to attempt, you can get your name on the top 10 leaderboard if you score enough points, but this requires beating all 4 levels, which I don't have the urge to do so. Preventive Strike is an unnecessarily tough game that, while is inspired from the NES days of game difficulty and genre, I'd argue most gamers will find it more frustrating than fun. I give credit to the one guy who made the game, but in order for it to appeal to a larger audience, changes need to be made, and I'd start with my previously stated suggestions. This game gets a 1.75 out of 5 with the title of bad.